Kempton Park Hospital first opened its doors to patients in 1976. It consisted of a 350-bed state-of-the-art facility and a 5-story nurses' home, 5 operating theatres and a special maternity facility with around 800 premature incubators. But in 1997, they just closed the doors, apparently due to lack of funding.
Urban explorers have been searching for the ghosts of history ever since. But not many people know the true horror.
Bogus pediatrician. This must surely be the mother of all frauds. Esterhazen was convicted of 3 counts of culpable homicide, impersonating a doctor and defrauding patients. Esterhazen had an extremely high IQ and said he studied medical books for years. He told the pediatrician he was a doctor and began working with the man. Later, Esterhazen established his own practice. During his trial in Kempton Park Regional Court, Bealt reported on the sad stories of babies who deteriorated daily and eventually died under his care. One mother told the court her baby ended up with cerebral palsy after Esterhazen did 4 lumbar punches on the child while she was only 4 months old. A doctor diagnosed meningitis and referred her to Dr. Esterhazen. He confirmed the diagnosis and the girl was placed in an oxygen tank at Kempton Park Hospital. A baby girl born in July 1988 at Kempton Park Hospital was very tiny at birth. Esterhazen treated her. At first the baby did well, but was then put in an oxygen tent because a problem occurred. She died the same day. There is an urban legend of the hospital director being murdered by one of his own staff members. The accused, Leon Foschk, only worked at the hospital for a few years and was known for being normally very friendly.
And that something possessed him to do it.
But the scariest true story is when Bonnie almost died after visiting the abandoned hospital.
My name is Bonnie and I survived the abandoned Kempton Park Hospital. Kempton Park Hospital, there was a big crew of us and you guys were pretty much scouting for an area to record a horror/thriller movie, and we all went and explored the hospital to see if there were scenes and areas to shoot. It started with you guys scouting and recording and videoing all kinds of things everywhere, and I got a little bit bored of it, I must be honest. So I wandered off and I ended up going up a huge couple of flights of stairs, huge building, and it turns out it was the kiddies ward, the same one obviously where Dr. Esterhazen practiced. It felt dank. It was cold and it was myth. There were a lot of files strewn about. You could see it was a children's ward, obviously, with cute little paintings on the walls and pretty bright colours, all sweet by the looks of things. And inside this ginormous foyer area of entering where the reception was to the kiddies area, there was a pigeon stuck. And I couldn't quite figure out why the pigeon was so stuck because there were quite a few open windows. And I decided to open up the big doors, the French doors basically, opened them up wide, went round the pigeon to get behind him, and then sort of shooed him towards the door to get him out, because he seemed to be stuck, because he was looking a little bit ill, a little bit greasy, a little bit skinny, etc. And I tried to chase him out and he couldn't leave the room. Every time he got to the doorway to exit, it seemed like something was pushing him back and he just wouldn't exit. It seemed he was stuck in there. And I didn't hang around too much longer there by myself, and went back and met up with the guys. And there were windows, lots and lots of windows. And when I saw this one window handle, I realized that at home, the one window didn't have one of those metal handles to hook it back in, to really close it. I took the window handle home. I didn't at this point realize that energies got attached to items, especially from abandoned places and places with a bad and sad history. Boy, did I learn. 7 days after exploration, it was on the 25th of January, that I got ill and admitted to hospital. I woke up in the morning and started vomiting. And then continued vomiting until about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock that night, still vomiting. My blood sugar level was 56. I was basically already on my deathbed at this point, and they stabilized me there, and then I got moved to a public facility. While in hospital, I picked up esophageal candida, which basically is an infection of the esophagus, which made huge scar tissues and sores on the inside, and it was difficult to swallow for a very long time. Food, drink, everything hurt tremendously. I then got discharged from hospital during all of this. My blood sugar levels had stabilized, so they figured it was good enough to go. Got home on a Friday. Saturday morning, woke up and was vomiting blood. I got rushed back to hospital, readmitted, a whole bunch of tests done again, and then realized that I was suffering from major internal bleeding. And I'd lost 76% of my blood in my body through this ginormous sore in my esophagus, basically. Within 3 or 4 hours of being readmitted, they administered a emergency blood transfusion, which consisted of a bag of platelets and 4 or 5 pints of blood. So this was while the blood transfusion was taking place. Bags and bags of blood, plasma. That was the CVP line, which was on my inner thigh. CVP is a central venous pressure line. So basically directly into your main vein on your inner thigh, and then attached to that an additional 3 lines feeding into the main one into your main vein. And those 3, just as a little extra info here, those little 3 got stitched in individually so that they wouldn't move around, and that was done without anesthetic. Yeah, 3 nice big stitches in there, nice little scars. So, lessons learned. Take nothing at any point ever. Anything could be attached.